Howdy y'all, it's Aaron here. Getting someone to buy one time could be a fluke. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to dominate your competition and get customers to fall in love with your brand to buy over and over again. As always, make sure to grab something to take notes with and stick around until the end where I'm going to be sharing with you one way 99.9%, all statistics are made up, but 99.9% of all clothing stores mess up when sending out products to their customers. All right, so number one is to create great content, right? So this may seem obvious to some and not so obvious to others. Your first impression matters a lot, and more than likely, if you are watching this channel, it means one of your first interactions with a customer is going to be from content or advertising. That's just what we talk about on this channel. So more than likely, that is what is happening. So great content is subjective and based off of each individual experience, but you can do one thing that most clothing stores never do: research. All right, so one thing about research or talking to customers online through video or just in person, however the interaction comes, is that they never really do any research. They don't know anything about their customers. So some things to consider as you are doing some research. What interests you about the content of other businesses, right? So similar niche or not, it doesn't matter, right? Whether it's clothing or whether it's, an experience, it doesn't matter. What content actually interests you, because I'm hoping that the content you're creating is for a brand that you actually would engage with and that you would buy products from as well. If you're not, that's probably a different situation. But the point is, what engages with you is likely going to engage with your target audience as well. Another thing to consider: what does your clothing store brand, or what does your store, or what does the brand stand for, and how does it help those people? At the end of the day, it still helps somebody one way, shape, or form. Meaning that if you're helping them buy a t-shirt, you can make them help them feel good. You could also have something that's a lot bigger of a purpose. I say bigger with air quotes here, where some of the clothes may be made out of something that's recyclable or sustainable, whatever that is. But how does your product actually help somebody? Think of some ways to create content around that. Do some research for yourself. And then most importantly, what is your competition doing and how are you different, right? So it's good to look at your competition as inspiration or other people to base something off of, but how are you different to create your own forms of content? And that all happens with just a simple Google Doc of doing your research before you actually just go and start creating your content. All right, so one thing to consider is that your content is not just the photo or video that you decide to create, but the copy that you write that supplements that creative. So write and create content for one specific person. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't really know who their target audience is, and it is not everyone. So things to consider, right? Is it a man or is it a woman? Is it a child, etc.? Is it a certain demographic? Is it a certain ethnicity? Is it a heritage? Who are you going after? Is it a specific group of people in Florida? Or is it an island in the Caribbean? Or is it some New Yorkers? Or is it men who happen to live in LA? You need to define who this is for. You can only choose one, right? You're writing for one person, you're creating content for one person. And when you try to do too much and go to too many different people, that's when you run into an issue and you start to create bland type of content. All right, before we cover how to add another layer of trust to your business to help you generate more sales, I just wanted to say howdy. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding, and we're an e-commerce growth agency that specializes in helping clothing stores grow and scale profitably online. Now, make sure that you do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the latest strategies for clothing stores. We drop new content for you every single week. All right, so number two is to build an engaging site that builds trust and confidence. I can't tell you how important a website is for your e-commerce business. Great content to a bad site means a bad user experience, which generates less sales and ultimately kills your ads too. So any social platform you run ads on that sends someone to a bad site is going to charge you a premium to send their customers to a bad experience, right? So the worse experience that they have, the more money you're gonna pay on that social platform. So let's jump into a few sites and I'll point out some good things and areas of improvement. Speaking of improvement, hitting that like button on this video will improve the YouTube algorithm for this video to show more people. So please don't forget to hit that if you're enjoying this video so far. All right, so we are on the World Envision website. This is a t-shirt brand. So first thing right away, this has a pop-up that comes in at like 2 seconds, so right away. So whether I'm on mobile or desktop, let's see what it looks like on mobile. It just hits me directly with the discount to pop up and just kind of not so good experience here. So just a suggestion for them would be to do an exit intent on desktop or a mobile scroll over like 60% on mobile, meaning that it pops up after 60%, and then exit intent on desktop. So right away, I do like the pop-up here. It actually shows the brand. A lot of people just have text, which is good. So unlock 15% of my order, no problem, I will, thank you. All right, so let's look at the hero image. This is the big part here. The first thing that likely people are gonna click on. So Daydream available now, sunset. Interesting. I wonder if it takes me to 2 different spots. A little unclear. And then, okay, and they have Daydream, Sunset, and Juneteenth. So 3 different collections that are going on. Let's see what what we can click here. So what's cool is that the hero image is all clickable, which is something that we really do suggest, but I have 3 different kind of call to actions and I don't really know where to go. So let's click on Daydream here. And okay, takes me to the bestsellers. Is this the same thing, the Juneteenth one? Let's see if that takes me, okay, so takes me to the same page. Interesting. Maybe they're trying to make this all one thing, the Daydream and Sunset and the Juneteenth, like all one thing, but it's honestly a little confusing. So that's one thing for you right now is when you're thinking about your site or you're sending people there is simple is almost always going to be a better option here. When I've been to the site before, I haven't really ran into a confusing option. This just seems like something that is a little bit different than what I have seen before. But anyway, so let's go to the page right away. You can actually see here they have good product page for what I actually wanted to click on. Then go actually into the product. Let's see here. Good product photos. They don't really have any lifestyle photos or any other way, but it's just a cool front back. Looks like you can get a detailed shot. Can't go too in depth. Okay, actually you can. Good. Really what I look for is like a front, a back, detailed shot. Lifestyle photos, great. An even better option would be like a video, but all you're trying to do is transfer confidence from you to the potential customer. And the more time that they spend on the site is obviously better for what Facebook's looking at as well. And then let's see here. There is not any social proof or reviews. They don't really have anything to like upsell within the collection. These are just random shirts that are saying they're related versus like you may also like. Oh, here we go. There's something there. Frequently bought together. Okay, this is cool. So it's pre-selected. I do like this. It's like if you chose your size, let's see if this changes. So my size is medium, and I wanted 3 of these. Those are the last ones in stock. It updates. It does not update here. Okay, because they don't have an option. There we go, medium. Well, this is pretty cool. So the frequently bought together, it's going to checklist which ones you want, and then you can uncheck them, and then click this little button here to add selected to the cart. Kind of an interesting experience here where it actually takes you to the cart page versus just adding it to the cart, which is okay, a little bit different. And then okay, interesting. So I clicked back on the page that I wanted to go to, like to continue browsing, and then it took me back to the page I was not on, to some random page. So not a great user experience on that side. They have some cool ways that they're trying to incentivize people to add to the cart. If they were just going to add to the cart and purchase right then I think it's great. But other than that, it's not a good user experience because I can't get back to the page that I was trying to look at. So I have to go all the way back to the home page, click on the hero image that way, and then go back into the t-shirt I was looking at, and then I can go and interact. One good thing you should look at doing as well, right? We're not going to go into a complete site audit here, but one thing to look at is I think Christian has a video out on Hotjar, which is something you should just install on your site to look at the way people are interacting. So for example, World and Vision would probably see like all the things that I was doing right now today and like clicking around and trying to figure out what's going on, and they'll see like that this was not necessarily the best user experience, so they can make changes from that in the future, because you really don't know what's going on your site until you have somebody go out and kind of test it. So this looks different than the site that I've been to in the last couple of months, so it looks like they've updated, but when they did so, it looks better design-wise, but user experience, it's just a lot harder to go and actually say, I want to buy this product. So as you're doing your marketing, make sure that the website is a really good experience, because if they don't make that purchase the first time, it's going to be hard for them to do what we're talking about in this video, which is to buy again and again. All right, so number 3 is to create a process for your shipping and a surprise and delight. So the shipping process is one that I feel is often neglected. We're so focused on acquiring the customer, we forget that the shipping process is honestly one of the most crucial pieces of the puzzle to a great customer experience. And really, if you look at this, like there's a ton of YouTube videos out there that are just like all about driving sales through ads, or the best apps, or the best themes, or like all the sexy things, which we do as well, but nobody really talks about like what happens afterwards. And so that's what we're gonna talk about here on this section. So, all right, so Christian was talking to me the other day about his course. It's like a conversion rate for a website, and it's just like the customer experience. But one thing that they were talking about is a big mistake that a lot of people make is that they package up a shirt or clothing item or whatever else, a pair of shoes, and then they put the invoice or the pricing right there on the top. So like the first thing that you open is, this is the price for the product that I just paid. When they're already having some buyer's remorse, they're already trying to feel like, is this really worth it? And then just right there, you just kind of get punched in the face with like, oh yeah, I've spent $60 or $100 or $200 on that thing. And so now you're like, dang, that's like 2 gallons of gas that I just literally wasted on this shirt potentially. So there's that type of experience, right? Where you kind of get punched in the face and it's like, oh, I bought the shirt, like, how do I feel about it? And I don't know if I'm really gonna, like, I like the product, but just my first impression is not the greatest. Versus the other person, right? We can talk about them. A much better experience is to see the product first, or more importantly, they see the product and then something else that they were not expecting. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? So good shipping, first off, let's just assume that you figured out some way to get good shipping, because that's just, you've got to do it, right? We got to figure out a way to stand out. I was talking to a guy the other day, and on his website and on Instagram, it said like next day shipping. And to me, I was like, oh wow, this is like, I already feel better about working or like buying something from you, because I'm like, next day shipping, like that's just, it sounds like a really good customer focused experience. Now, it still may take 2 or 3 days or 4 days or whatever to get to me, but it just, he's gonna ship it out next day. Simple marketing tactic at that point. So I already feel better about it. But now imagine if you can get something in front of the customer's hands faster. And a couple of reasons you'd want to do this. Number one, because it makes them happier. But 2, right, we'll talk about it a little bit later, the faster it gets into somebody's hands, the faster they get to try your product, and the less time where they have remorse, and the faster that you could potentially get more sales, again, if they have a good experience. So one of the ways that I think you can, quote unquote, surprise and delight them is to see the product, right? I want to see an amazing product inside of that package. That's what I purchased. But then right under that is either a QR code or a gift outside of what they ordered. So for example, I was talking to one of our clients yesterday, as of the time of this recording, and they were shipping out some stuff for their summer collection. At this point, I think I was just at Magic Kingdom, or Animal Kingdom, so we'll call it the Simba collection for summer. So the Simba collection, something they could send out for that summer collection, if it's a swimsuit or whatever else, is like, here's also a gift card for Smoothie King or for some other bigger chain, and say, hey, while you're wearing your swimsuit or whatever, cool off with a cool drink or whatever. And it's just like, oh wow, that's a good way to spend $5 and just tell them that you care about them and that it's very specific. Likely unscalable, but that's not necessarily the point. The point is, do you have a great customer experience? Another option is creating QR codes based off of collections or things that you ship out. So if they bought something within this variety of items, you have a personalized video from them or from you saying thank you so much for the first purchase and hope you enjoy your product from this collection or whatever else, or use this code or whatever that may be. But it's something that's more personalized to them that they can scan. Every iPhone or every phone now, you just literally pick it up, you hover over it just like we did for menus, and you can see the video. So it's a great way to add a personalized touch. So maybe you add the gift and the QR code, a very nice way. Another thing that people talk about a lot, but they don't really do much, is the handwritten note. Even if you can't read it, honestly, I've gotten some handwritten notes from people where they just said like, thank you, and then like 6 or 7 other words that I don't know in their name. But the point is that they wrote it, and it made me feel better about them. I wanted to buy from them again. So once they receive the package, hopefully faster, you not only give them an amazing product and don't kind of shock them with the the price that they paid, but then you give them a gift or a QR code or a handwritten note or something else, or all of the above, to just intensify that experience that they have for you. How much more likely are you to buy from somebody when you have that type of experience versus just, oh yeah, by the way, we threw this into a poly bag, here's the t-shirt, here's the price, have a good day. I think we all know the answer to that. So my point is, find a way to surprise and delight them with a great package. So one other thing to consider about shipping something out is the type of box that you put it in or the type of poly bag. There are different ways to do it besides just your plain gray poly bag from the USPS or UPS store. And one thing you have to really figure out is your numbers on the shipping, right? So if we have a better customer experience, can I spend a little bit more on the front end for a great box for the first time customers? And then if so, what does that look like? What do we add in there? How much more costs are those? And one thing that I guess is almost crucial in your business is actually knowing the numbers of how much it's going to cost to ship, how much those rates are going to go up, and then how much you can actually spend to acquire that customer with your advertising and marketing and email to get them to not only purchase the first time, but to get a purchase again and again. That was honestly something that we were struggling with for a long time, is like, how much is it costing us to acquire this customer, because we didn't have the right data, we didn't have good numbers to work off of to make better decisions for our ads. But we did find a solution, thank goodness. We're using a tool called Triple right now that gives us the data to make smart decisions in our business based off of facts versus guesses. And it's what we use for every single client and group coaching member. And if you want more clarity on your numbers in your business, check out the link in the description down below. All right, so number 4 is the follow-up. One of the most overlooked and undervalued lessons in business, the follow-up. Once you know a customer has received your product, which you should, right? Give them 1 or 2 days and then start following up with questions about their experience. And you should have already had an amazing experience anyway, because you listened to number 3 and you did something that was different than everybody else. So if you can get granular, offer an upsell to pair with their outfit or item and give some kind of discount or something that adds some type of value to them, but do it quickly. The best time for someone to buy is when they are on that high of the experience from their first purchase. And like I said before, they are going to receive the product, which is amazing. They're going to have some kind of wow experience, and then you're going to hit them with a message with a great discount for them to buy again. What are the chances of them buying that second time or the third time? Much higher. So make sure that you're following up. The goal for you is to get a customer to buy at least 3 times. There's like real numbers or real reasoning behind it. This is because this is a good indicator that they will become a customer for life, or at least very loyal to your business. And if they purchase 3 times with an average order value of $50 and it costs you $50 to acquire them, and then you get them to buy 2 other times, you just made 3 times your money. You made $150 off of a $50 cost per acquisition. That starts to make more sense in your business. So great loyalty with the customer, but more than likely if they buy from you 3 times, they'll buy from you a 4th and a 5th, and you have somebody for life as long as you take care of them. So follow-up can be done in multiple ways, but a few that I like and that are kind of obvious, but then there's also one that I think you should definitely do. It takes a little bit more effort. That's kind of the point here, is to stand out and put a little bit more effort into it because people notice. But number 1 is email, the most cost-effective way. Just get in front of them as that message. It's very profitable. 2, SMS, a little bit more money, more in your face, but also tells them that you care. And if you had a great experience with the shipping and the processing side of things, then a quick text message from them with an offer, very effective. And the 3rd, least invasive, but maybe the most effective, is a postcard. Imagine getting a postcard a couple of days afterwards. You got another surprise and delight in the mail. Hey, hope you're enjoying X product, which is dynamically updated on that postcard. Hope you're enjoying this product. Here's 15% off or a percentage off, or you may also like this together. Go over to the website and make a purchase. So now you've just sent them 2 things in the mail. And I don't know about you guys, but I love getting mail when it's not bills or spam or whatever else, and it's actually addressed to me, that's like something that I care about. So receiving a postcard may cost you $2 extra, but you may make another $50 or $60 or $75 or $100 off of it. So great ROI for the business. I think overall, as long as you follow 80% of what's going on in this video, and you give a great surprise and delight, and you give the attention that's needed to each individual customer and treat them like a one-on-one customer versus a one-to-many, you're going to have a great customer experience. You're going to be able to get customers to buy again and again. But before you do go and you jump into taking all of this action, I wanted to tell you about our free masterclass training that's for clothing stores that will walk you through the 5 pillars that you must have in place for your online store to scale consistently and profitably no matter what is happening in the world. So if you want access to that free 20-minute training, make sure you check out the link in the description down below. And if you are somebody who is trying to figure out what the heck to do with your ads and you need the most updated ad strategy for your clothing store, make sure you go watch this video right here next. All right, y'all, that's it for this week. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video.